once again. Two excruciating days at the Auto Expo, as they say, no rest of the weekend. Now I'm going to be going to Goa to drive the Skoda Kirak, and I'm taking Akasa Air once again. And I don't know if my flight will be on time because of the NOTAM in Delhi, which has shut down Delhi airspace due to the Republic Day celebrations and the fly past of the Sukhois and other fighter jets and the choppers, blah, blah, blah. In fact, I was supposed to go on Air India on this flight, but the Air India flight got pushed back to 8 p.m. That wouldn't have made any sense. I would have only arrived to Goa at midnight. Too tiring then. But yeah, in this video, I want to be talking about Akasa Air and the issues Akasa Air has been suffering because of Boeing. Akasa has seated 400 pilots, and their expansion plans have gone for a toss for no fault of their own. India needs more competition in the aviation space, and Akasa is going to give that competition, but well, Boeing can't deliver the planes. And don't blame Akasa, don't blame anybody else for it, but it's Boeing's fault. Just like Go First was affected adversely by the Pratt & Whitney engine issue, Akasa has been affected adversely by the Boeing 737 MAX issue. So keep on watching this video and I'll tell you what's been up. Before I look into issues that Akasa has with Boeing, particularly in regard to the Boeing 737 MAX, the MAX 8-200 and the 737 MAX 10, I'd also like to point out that this was possibly one of my last flights from Delhi's Terminal 2, which is going to be redone. Not my last flight from Delhi Terminal 2 because it will be refurbished, but Terminal 2 like it is right now. Now, Terminal 2 was a stopgap arrangement for Delhi Airport. In fact, it was supposed to have been shut down by now, but unfortunately, an accident with the roof at Delhi Terminal 1 led to the delay in opening of Terminal 1, which is now more or less functional. My last few flights with Indigo have been from Terminal 1. In fact, my flights to Prayagraj for the Kumbh, also with SpiceJet, were from Terminal 1. Terminal 2 is not a nice terminal at all. It's loud. I mean, I think Delhi Airport's done a good job with it. But anyway, check-in with luggage, everything went smooth. Security went smooth. The waiting areas here are decent. But it's a terminal showing signs of age. It's almost 50 years old, this terminal, and desperately is in need of a complete revamp. Ideally, it should be demolished and redone. Anyhow, it is soon time to board my flight to Goa. So we went down the jet bridge and onto my aircraft. So I boarded my aircraft, which was 737 MAX 8 that had been delivered to Akasa about 1 year ago in February 2024. However, this aircraft was almost 3 years old, and the reason for that is Victor Tango Yankee Bravo Alpha was actually a 737 MAX 8 that had not been taken up by Chinese Songhai Airlines. What is very interesting is that despite placing their first order for 72 Boeing 737 MAX 8 and 8-200 aircraft back in 2021, Akasa finds themselves on the recording of this video, which is the 25th of February 2025, with only 27 MAX 8 and MAX 200 aircraft. In fact, they have 4 MAX 8 200 aircraft. Whereas Air India, and especially Air India Express in this context, which placed their order with Boeing for 737 MAX aircraft in June 2023, has received over 40 of them until now. Now, there are multiple reasons for this. One of them, of course, Air India is better capitalized, and Boeing is also delivering them 787-9s and 777X aircraft. So I think a bit of this is to placate Air India, but that's a minor reason. Air India has placed orders for the base 737 MAX 8 aircraft, whereas Akasa has asked for MAX 8-200, which is a high density MAX aircraft. Now, the MAX 8 has been constructed for some time, and there were lots of aircraft that were not taken up, including aircraft that were destined for Jet Airways and SpiceJet, which have gone to Air India Express and Akasa. However, the MAX 8 200, on the other hand, well, that are almost all new build, and Akasa, being a low cost carrier, wants more MAX 8 200s. Anyway, I'll stop talking now so you can enjoy the takeoff of this flight to Goa's Mopa Airport. Now, as I've said in my earlier videos about Akasa, I really like the interiors that they do. These winged headrests were wonderful. However, it's quite clear that there is no consistency between the cabins on many Akasa aircraft. And I was sitting on row 3, so I got a lot of legroom. However, let's look at the food. And over here, I really think Akasa excels. I had these chicken pockets, and these were wonderful. The jalapeno, little side salad, and the sauce were excellent. These curry-tastic chicken pockets. Again, full marks to Akasa for their food. They are really good with their catering. However, like Indigo, they do not have ovens on board, and this stuff would have tasted a lot nicer if you had a warm food. But I finished it all, really loved it, and it's really useful on a 2 hour plus long flight to Goa's Mopa Airport. One more thing I must compliment Akasa for is the fact that they give full cans of cola instead of dishing cola out in glasses like India's largest airline. So, as my flight QP1378 glided over the hazy Western Ghats, I'd like to also talk a little bit more about how Akasa's problems with Boeing are affecting them. Akasa has taken on a lot of pilots who they are unable to deploy because of the lack of aircraft. Akasa was hoping to have 40 planes operational by now. They have 400 737 MAX pilots they've been forced to bench because they don't have any aircraft. And this is because of all the problems Boeing has had, including the door blowout on the Alaska aircraft that brought the 737 MAX line to a halt. The fact that Boeing has found it difficult to get back to speed, and the Federal Aviation Administration is not letting them produce as many 737 MAX aircraft as I'd like to because of the quality control issues Boeing has had, Boeing's own management problems. And this is affecting airfares in India because Akasa is not able to grow. At 27 aircraft, they are barely able to compete with the likes of Indigo and Air India Express, which I look at as a single entity over here. This, of course, has led to fares being very high. There is no third airline in India. SpiceJet is way too small right now. And I did fly with SpiceJet to Prayagraj for the Kumbh, and I'll be making another video about that. Anyhow, I really hope Boeing can get their act together. I do not blame Akasa for this problem. I think Akasa is doing a fantastic job with regards their catering and their flights. And flying with virtually one hand tied behind their backs because of Boeing's issues. I hope Boeing can get their MAX issues in order. Even Air India Express is soon going to see a slowdown, but they have 40 aircraft, and Air India also has a lot of
320 neos that will go to Air India Express. Keep in mind, all the single class A320 neo aircraft will be operated by Air India Express. But Air India, of course, has their own problems with logistics, and that is regarding seats, and that's a whole different story. Anyway, another great flight by Akasa, and now it is time for you guys to enjoy the landing. Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you want more great aviation content. I'll be coming up with a lot more videos, including my flying into India's temporary fifth largest airport, which is Prayagraj, with SpiceJet, my least favorite airline. So keep watching for that video, which will come up in a couple of days. Until then, happy flying to everybody and enjoy the shadow of that 737 MAX on the ground as we approach Goa Mopa Airport.